Me saying I like this keyboard almost got me canceled. Kind of. The Tiger 80 Lite is the final evolved form of the KBD 67 Lite. That board was a Thok monster. But it became very one-dimensional. So if you wanted different sounds, it's really hard to get away from the Thok. Thok is great, but sometimes you get tired of Thok, you want to go with the clack, the thwack, the caw, or any other sound. And because of what I do these days, I honestly gravitate more towards a TKL rather than an Alice layout or a 60% or a 65%. I need these keys right here, the F keys, and without the F keys, it's really hard for me to work. Oh yeah, but about the canceling thing, I had posted that I really like this keyboard, I'm dailing it, and then some people were like, "Cap, bro, you have a unicorn, why would you use a Tiger 80 Lite? You definitely paid chill." So they kind of put my face on it, so I'm kind of morally obligated to daily it because I'm a narcissistic content creator. Oh, jokes aside, the board is very solid and there's a lot of cool features in the board that other Endgame elitist boards do not even have. The Tiger 80 Lite is a full-fledged keyboard that makes no compromises other than the material. So the material is ABS plastic, yes, the same plastic as your keycaps. So don't expect CNC'd polycarbonate, CNC'd aluminum, heavy brass weights, because those are not here. There is a Tiger 80 aluminum, which I did compare and I'll let you hear right here. But I personally prefer the Tiger 80 Lite for this kind of entry-level package. This right here has a 1.2mm PCB, which doesn't necessarily affect the sound, but mostly the feel. It's gonna feel more flexible. And because it's just regular leaf spring plate gasket mounting, there's nothing silicone in the mid layer to kind of stop flex. Between those two, and the fact that it has a USB-C daughter board right in the middle, you get a plate and PCB assembly that can freely move within the case. Basically, you can get all the flex that you want, if you want it. My main thing is that this is clear ABS and it has underglow. I'm like a Christmas tree. I'm a sucker for RGB, which is another reason why I daily this keyboard. Because I'm a simpleton, shiny lights like a freaking cat, dude. It's packing some serious junk in the truck, but let's talk about why it's better than its competition. So with all those features, those are typically features you find in more expensive keyboards. This keyboard is allegedly going to be somewhere between $130 and $140. Those are preliminary prices. Nothing has been confirmed yet because it's not launching until next month. The aluminum version already launched and delivered, but I definitely prefer the plastic one. So with this price of $130 to $140, it's only $20 more expensive than its smaller brother, which is the KBD 67 Lite. And it has quality of life upgrades such as the USB-C daughter board being centered, thinner PCB, no reliance on the silicone mid layer, and overall just a better sound, a much more crispy sound, a much more true sound. The KBD 67 Lite, like I said in the video, it kind of masked the sound a little bit, but they gave people an opportunity to get Thok really quickly without having to hunt down different plate materials, different switches, and different mods. Its real competition will be the NK87EE Entry Edition, which is kind of the same kind of plastic material, being injection molded polycarbonate rather than ABS. I don't like the NK65 and the NK87 because the mounting is a tray mount, also a top mount. Because of all the mounting points, it ends up being very stiff. The NK65E personally had a very tight plate, which made it very hard to pull hot swap switches out. That kind of defeated the purpose of having a hot swap board, allowing you to modify switches and try different switches. That whole experience was not great. I do give kudos to Novelkeys for being the first to the market to bring that to people, but in terms of 2022, there needs to be innovation. It did switch some things around, but the mounting style is the main thing that I don't like about it. I haven't tried it personally, so I can't comment fully on it. Between the two, you can go either way. I would prefer prefer this because of the centered USB-C, the thinner PCB, and the fact that it is a gasket mount. And people tell me this all the time. They watch my videos and they're like, Andy, what about the Akko XYZ? We're talking about real keyboards here. I'm just kidding. We do have Akko keyboards in the house and we will be reviewing them soon. I like what they're doing, kind of bringing more options to the entry-level market. But my main gripe about Akko boards is that they, for some reason, keep using north-facing switch orientation, which makes it hard to use cherry profile keycaps. So you're kind of stuck with the OEM profile keycaps or any taller keycap profile. And what if you like, you know, EPBT, GMK, JTK? Those are all cherry profile keycaps. So putting them on an Akko board, you're gonna hear some weird ticking and clicking. It's not great. So with only one real competitor in the market, the NK70E, I think the Tiger 80 Lite has a great chance of being your next keyboard, especially if, say, you're coming into the hobby, you want to be able to use a hot swap. You don't want to buy the wrong hot swap. This is going to cover all of your bases, in my opinion. And that's really because it's using plastic. I know a lot of people coming from pre-built gaming keyboards, they're tired of the plastic keyboard because, you know, it's like creaky. Oh, actually, this isn't creaking at all. Listen. This ain't your Razer keyboard, bro. This right here is a Tiger 80 Lite. With the choice of plastic for the case material, you get two big benefits. One, RGB. Two, with cheaper plastic keyboards, you don't often find that it pings or is hollow in comparison to cheaper aluminum keyboards. You can really hear this when you listen to the Keychron Q series. Of course, they do the force break mod and they have foam options, so you can like remedy it. But this board right here, plastic, very light. I'm holding it right here. It ain't pinging at all. These are broken in Hyperglide MX Blacks on the polycarbonate case with the PPT Fans neon keycaps. There is a layer of tape on there, but I'll let you listen to the stream before putting on the tape and after. It does make a huge difference in sound. That's the benefit of plastic. I know you want your heavy aluminum keyboard with the brass weight, but it's really hard to argue with these results. At 130 bucks, sheesh. The main reason why I prefer this keyboard over the NK87, over the NK65, over other cheap keyboards like the Freebird TKL is because it's independent of the use of foam. The Freebird TKL more or less needed that rubber case layer. The KBD67 Lite definitely used the silicone as a mounting. The NK65 and 87 definitely use the silicone mid and case layer. This doesn't need any of it. Building it raw, no PCB foam, no case foam, leads to a great sound. That means you can put in a switch in here, you can hear the switch sound without being hampered by PCB foam or case foam. PCB foam and case foam are not bad by any means, but once you add those things to the mix, now you're hearing switch plus foam. What if you just want to hear the switch? If you have a crispy, clacky switch and you throw a bunch of case foam in it, it's gonna sound like any other board with case foam. And one of the cool features of this board is the fact that it has custom designed tape. The friends over at KBD Fans screenshotted one of my streams where I was chugging soju while wearing a shark suit for charity. Then they made a custom tape of it and I put it on the board. I think it's freaking hilarious. And having that kind of customization, especially an entry-level board, not to mention that it is non-permanent. So you don't have to have something engraved in the case. You don't have to have a custom weight. You don't have to get it patinaed, which is like patina. If you know, you know, from the Discord. Those are permanent ways to customize your board. What if you want to undo it? You can't do it really easily, especially in engraving. With custom tape on a clear case, you can do that any day. We've been talking a while, but we've been talking about the sound, right? The sound of this keyboard slaps. Slaps harder than any other keyboard in this house. Slaps harder than even Gion Frog's modded spacebar. The Gion Frog spacebar is probably low-hanging fruit because it's not the best sounding spacebar, but this board is like a third of the price. That keyboard spacebar, but here, That's like a nice, deep, clean sound of a spacebar that I love. The alphas are probably above average. I don't think they're the best alphas in the world. Everything I say in this video has a caveat that is a $130 keyboard kit. So when you compare it to like, hey, the Vega sounds better. Well, the Vega is not $130, okay? The fact that this sound could even be in the conversation is unreal. We've come so far in custom mechanical keyboards. These days, these boards exist and they sound this great without modding. What the hell? And ironically, the Tiger 80 Lite, the plastic brother of the Tiger 80 aluminum, sounds better than the aluminum. The aluminum has a little bit of case ping and hollowness, which can be force broken, can be case foam, can be PCB foamed. But like I always say, it's easier to make a cheap plastic keyboard sound and feel good than it is to make a cheap aluminum keyboard sound and feel good. And in terms of feel, there's a decent amount of flex in here because it has a leaf spring gasket mount plates and a thinner 1.2mm PCB with the flex cuts. I will say that there was an issue with the shims for this 1.2mm PCB. The shims didn't necessarily fit underneath the PCB due to the dial positioning. KBD fans, what's going on? Way. I will report this over to Way. Hopefully they fix it for the final run. And to be honest with you, come here. I've actually kept this keyboard on my desk longer than other plastic keyboards. I'm surprised by the sound. I'm surprised by the feel. I'm surprised for the price performance ratio. It kind of warms my heart that there's options for people to get into the hobby without having to deal with like the hobby, okay? There's definitely gatekeepers. There's definitely a high cost barrier for entry. And I don't like that, you know? I want people to enjoy the hobby, to learn, to experiment without having to be bogged down by these things. I think this keyboard is solid. You don't want to miss out on this group buy, which is going to be happening in August. Price point is great at around $130, $140. All the features are things that you would expect out of a more expensive keyboard. This video is not sponsored by KBD fans. They don't pay me. They do give me an affiliate link, but that's it. They send me keyboards from time to time and things I'm interested in so I can share it with you guys. But we do have a video sponsor, and that is Skillshare. I've been able to learn how to learn about a new niche, as in I entered this hobby 2 years ago. So I learned all about keyboards. I learned how to make content on keyboards, and I do that all on my own. I don't recommend that for everybody because platforms like Skillshare exist. So you can kind of expedite the process of learning. Skillshare is a platform of creative and curious people. These days, I'm back to full-time work and I'm working out using the equipment in the back right there. And I still stream and I still make content for you all. And with that, it's really hard to balance my time. So Ali Abdal's course on productivity has been a godsend. He's really taught me on how to maximize my time, especially my downtime, where I'm often finding myself scrolling on my phone mindlessly, and use that time instead to accomplish small tasks. That way I can chip away at my to-do list without overwhelming myself. If learning things like this sounds interesting to you, click the link in my description, and first 1,000 people get a free month of Skillshare. Hopefully you can find something that jives with you so you can improve your life, be happier, healthier, and just a more positive person. I really hope you enjoyed this video. The Tiger 80 Lite is an awesome keyboard. Don't let anyone tell you that there's something wrong with this just because it's cheap. They're negative. Stay focused, stay positive. I love this keyboard. I use it a lot, and I'm actually starting to shine the PBD fans neon a little bit. You can see right there, because I game on it too. Let me know in the comments if you want to see any kind of specific videos. I'll consider them for future content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.